Listen, our words, what we choose to communicate to ourselves and to others, has a profound impact on our day-to-day lives. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. That's Proverbs 18:21. Now, you may have heard that saying before, but believe me when I say this, it is true. Hey, today on hashtag It Is Written, this episode is entitled All Words Matter. What I try to do here on this channel is equip and encourage believers to continue to do what God has called them to do. What we allow to come out of our mouths says a lot about the kind of person we are. Listen to Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. It says, out of the abundance of our heart, our mouth speaks. So I know what kind of person you are simply by what you choose and choose not to say. Now, if you truly reflected on what that means, that's a very sobering verse. If you don't believe me, let me go a little deeper. A little further down in that passage, in Matthew chapter 12, verse 36, listen to this. It says this, on the day of judgment, people will give an account for not some of the words they say when you're mad or some of the words you say when you're happy or whatever the kind of emotions you're having, but every careless word that they speak. For by your words, you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. Now do you see why all words matter? As a believer, our aim should be to speak light into the darkness and to speak saltiness into the things that are perishing. You see, the Bible is clear about what we should not be saying or what shouldn't be coming out of our mouths. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 4. It says, let no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking come out of your mouths. If you look in James chapter 3, it talks about how we shouldn't be speaking ill of other people because everyone is made in the image of God. No cursings and blessings shall come from the same mouth. The Bible is also clear about what should be coming out of our mouths. If you go ahead and continue to look in those verses in Ephesians chapter 5 and James chapter 3, it talks about how blessing and cursings again should not come from the same mouth. It talks about how we need to be singing and greeting each other with spiritual songs and hymns and worships, with thanksgiving, edifying one another. Not only just our believing friends, but everybody that we come in contact with. Why? Because all words matter. And I beg you not to be this person. And I know this person very well because I was this person. To be upset and frustrated when you come across another believer who has nothing but praises on his lips, who's always singing a song of joy, who always has joy in their hearts. Listen, our job as believers is to be joyful, is to live in such a way in which we are garnering people towards us and ultimately towards Christ. And so if you're that person who can't stand that someone always talks about God or always has joy, then as a believer, maybe you need to test your heart and see where you're at and lining up with not only with the scriptures, but with God's call and command on your life as a believer and as an ambassador for him. And that's all I have for y'all in this episode of hashtag It Is Written. We are going to do some thoughts and takeaways, but real quick, hopefully this served as a reminder to y'all that all words matter, that it's imperative as a believer for you to be speaking light into situations and not darkness, light into yourself and not darkness into yourself. And so let me go ahead and do some thoughts and takeaways, or what I call TNTs. TNT number 1 is this: you will be judged for what you say. So think before you speak, because every careless word you will be held accountable for. And finally, TNT number 2 is this: your tongue reveals your heart. Hey, I know what's inside of you. I know what's warring inside of you by the way you speak and what you decide to come out of your mouth. Listen, it's the abundance of your heart that your mouth speaks, not the lack, but the things that are overflowing from your heart will come out of your mouth. So that's all I have for y'all for hashtag It Is Written. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all some other time on It Is Written. Have a blessed day.